All right. Good evening and welcome to our weekly show, The Expert View. Every week on Wednesday, Baringo News seeks to get an expert opinion on issues that are affecting us as a society. And at this time of COVID-19 pandemic, we are keen to help our audience understand the impact of the deadly disease on various sectors and how they are coping with the new normal. Over the past few weeks, since we started this live streaming, we have been able to bring on board a number of experts who were able to help us tackle a number of issues, among them the rule of law during this time of COVID-19, how the economy has been affected and how we would recover post-COVID, remote working or working from home, and also the tools that we can use to help us ease the collaboration with our colleagues whom we are working together remotely. And tonight, we look into the impact of this pandemic on the financial institutions. And to help us dive deeper into this topic is the CEO for Skyline SACCO, Mr. Allan Mitei, live from Eldama Ravine.
Oh, yes.
Bwana Allan, jambo.
Jambo, Bwana Komen.
Karibu sana.
Yeah, I'm Allan Mitei, the CEO of Skyline SACCO.
Very well. Habari Eldama Ravine bana.
Ravine is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Though, as you have said, this issue of pandemic is really giving us hard times.
Yeah, and tonight we are looking at how it has affected your sector, the financial institutions. I can see you're seated behind before a banner. Are you working from home?
Not really. I am in my office for now.
Let me assume you have a home office because the pandemic, not really the pandemic, but the curfew will catch up with you. I'm aware when essential service.
These are part of essential service.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
So karibu sana. Maybe you want to make any other introduction beyond that?
Oh, yes. Maybe I can only say that I've been in this sector for a while.
Yeah.
Close to 18 years.
Yeah.
And I've really sailed so much in cooperatives. And this is my first employer since I was that young boy up to now. I've climbed the ladder from being a clerk, accountant, until this position of a CEO. And I'm seeing a bright future for this sector as per now.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Let's continue.
You talk about climbing the ladder from being an accountant to the level of a CEO. I think that's a very interesting story, and I feel we might need to bring you back some other day. You tell us about your story. It could help, encourage, and inspire someone.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Who could be watching us at the moment. There are stories of Akina Moria of Centum Foundation, or rather Centum Investment, who have risen from an intern to the level of a CEO, and I think your story is akin to that. Now, at this time of COVID-19, it is a global problem that everybody is feeling the heat, and no sector has been spared in any way. How is the situation for you as Skyline SACCO, and maybe generally for the financial sector?
Okay, thank you so much. You see, this issue called COVID-19 pandemic, I think it has really cut across all the sectors in the economy, and it's a global pandemic, by the way. So, in my thinking, financial sector is standing on a pivotal point in spearing economy. So, when all sectors or the environment is affected, then it means all the financial sectors and any other firm is affected directly. For example, the issue to do with closure of schools. Schools has been propelling so much in the economy. So for now, there's nothing like paying fees, nothing like engagements for employees in the schools. among others. So it means it is cutting some financials in that sector. Then when you talk of transport sector, you can imagine that person who has really invested so much in transport sector, and they are being asked to ferry maybe half of the passengers with the same cost or transport cost. How will that person really survive? And this person has been linking direct to the financial sector or the financial institutions in terms of support and all other areas. So for transport sector, from road or land to airline, I think is totally a mess in terms of financial flow. Then talk of flower farms. You know, flower farms is an export ventures in this country. In fact, we've been relying so much in the flower farms simply because we export more as a country through the flower farms. So the balance of payments, I think, is really supported by the flower farms, because when we export, it means we are bringing more to the country. Though that balance is not there as at now, because this is a developing country. So for now, the flower farms are grounded and we are not able to get the fund flow as expected. For
So,
example, Skyline SACCO has been dealing with a few flower farms and size of farms, especially in Mogocho area. And we've been processing huge sum of salaries to the employees and even maintaining some floats for these farms. Now, that amount is no longer there as we speak. And for the flower farms, they have reduced their pay to 50%. Yeah. And that is not even sustainable because we don't know for how long this will take place. So the fund flow, the fund flows are imbalanced as we speak for all the financial sectors. So that means loan repayments are not realized as expected. Savings are not realized as expected, especially the SACCOs. You know, a SACCO like this, Skyline SACCO, we rely so much on mobilization. So deposits should balance now with the outflows, that is loans and withdrawals and the rest.
so in general, what you're trying to say is that the cash flow into the SACCO is quite low at the moment.
Yes, that
I
is
think,
as we speak. And it's not only Skyline SACCO, it cuts across all the financial sector.
yeah,
Yeah, you call it SMBs, call it banks, SACCOs, among others.
very true. And to your to your situation as Skyline, how can you describe the situation as a CEO? I believe you're seeing things from a very high, or rather from a higher perspective.
Yeah.
How can you describe your situation as Skyline at the moment?
This is the worst thing I've ever accounted for. Yeah, in this in my life, because I've even tried to look at the past, whether such a thing has really affected, because this is like a financial crunch, economical crunch. Yeah, so there is, I think, even our fathers and our old men did not even see this in their lives.
Very true. I
So
think that the last time that such a thing hit the world was in 1918, and I
yeah,
don't think we still have anybody who's alive and can remember to give us a story of that.
so this is our time now to handle this one and think of the way forward on how we are going to solve the situations. Yeah.
And I think you've given a general perspective of how the economy or other sectors, various sectors have been affected. Are there specific things that you would want to tell us about how banks, SACCOs, and any other financial institution has been affected, aside from what you've just said? Is there something special that you think or rather something critical that such institutions are going through?
As we speak, there is nothing critical because we are at the flat. Because all the sectors now, as we speak, uh, as I have mentioned above, are low and flat. They are flattened. So there's nothing you can say, this one is really bad or this is fair, this is what. The only thing I can say is that maybe the health sector now is overwhelmed. Yeah, is overwhelmed. And we don't have enough facilities. Yeah, and even the resources that we need in those health facilities. So it is skewed now towards health facilities, but the rest are just flat. They're just flat. Yeah.
Okay.
So as we go along, I will share with you other things. But as I speak, I don't think there is any worst or anything I feel like I should share with you for now.
Okay. Now, so many people, as you've said, are affected. And within the same people, there are companies, organizations, corporates, banks, any other institution has been affected directly by this pandemic. And it has taken both businesses and individuals into more of a financial crisis. And maybe that explains why people are even being forced to take a salary cut, or some of them are even being given an unpaid leave for a period that is not definite. Now, for your case, for example, based on my research, I can see you have about over 80,000 members, and that excludes SMEs and any other person who is depending on you for funding in any activity that they are doing. How is your institution working on making their situation easier at this time?
Oh yes. Okay. At this time, in fact, we are really encouraging them first to be safe. That is number one. Then, following these situations, we are encouraging low investment or slow investment on high risk areas. As in, for now, we cannot invest on stock, isn't it? We can't because of the situations. And even the banks are slow in funding any other investment because we don't know the future. So for now, members are concentrating on consumption. Yeah, looking for what to consume, what to maintain them for themselves, among others. And they have realized now low income. So when you balance the low income and investment, I think it will not work. So they will not work on consumption. So propensity to consume is high for now. And there are job losses, as you have said. Job losses, pay cuts, and so forth. So they are only concentrating on the consumption part of it. Yeah. So the savings, as I had said above or before, is no longer there. Is very low, and that is what we depend on to even encourage investments and so forth. So for now, demand and supply forces are not matching. Yeah. In fact, it has really crumbled. So for now, we are only working on these imbalances and to make sure we do mobilize the much we can and to sustain the environment for now. Yes, so I think that is what I can say in what we are doing to cope up with this COVID-19.
Okay, now for the case of your customers, we've seen some banks locally giving their clients a loan repayment holiday. Some of them are even going as high as, or rather, for about 3 months to cushion them at this difficult financial time. What strategies have you put in place to ease your client situation? And also, what other strategies are financial institutions using So maybe we can start on the general perspective, then you can come on to how Skyline is cushioning the customer.
Okay. For now, what we are trying to do is to assist them to pay these loans in a softer way, especially those people who are affected, because as we speak, not all of them are affected, isn't it? So we are handling this case by case. So when you are affected, you can visit our offices, especially head office, and we will be able to ascertain the level of effects to your business or your work. Then we are able to rate the much you can pay per month. So if you have a pay cut of half of your salary, then it means we may slash the repayment by half, because we have to survive, all of us. Yes, so that is what we have done, but we are doing it case by case. Our main work for now is to mobilize that we can to stabilize and return to work strategies as soon as possible.
Very well. And I think to you, viewer, who is a member or maybe a customer to Skyline SACCO, you've heard that they're dealing with these cases, one or other. They deal on case by case, and no cushion will be given on a blanket kind of way. So should you have an issue that you think it needs to be addressed, then we are with the CEO here. And if you also have an issue that you want to have it clarified, you can drop your question in the comment section. We will be coming to your questions when we are halfway this conversation. Now, back to the savings. You said the savings have gone down, and I'm interested to know, do you have a percentage? When you say that the savings among your customers have gone down, I would take Skyline situation as a general perspective. So if you give a percentage, we would assume that would be representing, if say there's a drop in X percentage, we would assume that that could be the situation in the entire county or even the country. What is the percentage like when you say there's a drop in savings? People are not saving right now.
For example, I can give a live situation, especially to a SACCO like ours. We are regulated by the SACCO Society Regulatory Authority, and we have the threshold to meet as a liquidity ratio. So for a while, we've been maintaining liquidity ratios of over 40%. And the standard ratio is 15%. That is what you are required to maintain by the regulators. But for now, the same 40% have come to 25%. So you are seeing the drop. So this can apply all over, because that is a trend. And the bankers in Skyline are also bankers in other banks or other financial institutions. So they only balance all this. So I believe that is a slight drop, but it affects the whole sector. As I have said, in even what they have saved, they are now consuming. They are consuming to survive for now. So that is why there is a drop. And I believe going forward, we should pray that this thing ends soon. And not even praying alone, but we should assist ourselves by observing those guides given by the government.
Very well.
So this thing soon.
Now, looking into post-corona, I'm still on the strategies that you've put to even cushion your clients, and on this, I'm very keen on the businesses that are depending on Skyline SACCO. Post-corona, clearly, most businesses will find it very difficult to get back to their feet, and of course, after the pandemic, and maybe there are those whom may have been having loans with you. There are those whom will find it very difficult to restart or rather get back to where they were. And I'm sure there'll be a friction at the end of the day. I'm sure you've looked into the future and you have plans into how you will save yourself, because this one puts you between a rock and a hard place. How are you planning to cope with such situations post-COVID?
Oh yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I must say that the most important thing for now is to pray hard and even to take all the measures to remain alive with our members. That is the most important thing. But the issues to do with business, that will come later when we are all in. Yeah. For now, I have said we are only working on mobilization on the much we can, stabilize the economy or our membership as it is, and to have a post-pandemic strategy policy on how to come back to life. So, but the most important thing for sure is to make sure we are on board with all our members. So,
Very well.
if possible, I am urging our listeners and even our members that it is good we remain at home if we have to. Yeah, it is good when we visit any public place. Let's observe all the government measures. Yeah, osha mikono vizuri. Yeah, put on your mask. Unajua wengine wanaweka mpaka hapa. Yeah, na kusema niko na mask. That is wrong, my friend. So it is good we put on our mask, tuoshe mikono over 20 seconds as expected. Yeah, we keep social distances as when you visit our branches and our service points, we have even marked the 2 meters mark, keeping the social distances.
So all the strategies that you're telling us is like you're advising us to at least make sure that we survive this period so that tuongelee biashara baadaye.
Hiyo biashara itakuja.
Yeah. So I think
we can talk of business now,
yeah,
and tomorrow we are not there, or you lack members to work with. How will you survive? Will you have made any strategy?
No.
Yes.
Okay. Now you've talked about your branches, and I would be keen to know how you've said you've even marked like 2 meters, keeping the social distance. What other things are you practicing as an institution at the moment so that you can control the spread of this COVID-19?
Okay, I think that is a very good question. You see, apart from those government measures, we are also assisting our members to remain at home by having a paradigm shift from the normal work service procedures to the automation part of it. As in, members now should stay at home and access all the services they could have accessed when they visited our branches. So for now, one, we have enabled our key staff to work at home by connecting them with our software or our system so that they are able to approve and even follow up and even do audit on what we are supposed to do. Secondly, we have had mobile banking services whereby when you dial star 879 hash, you are able to get all the services or most of the banking services there. So as much as possible, we are really trying to make sure these members work at home. As we speak, I'm so encouraged because our members, although most of them are old, they are able to transact over the mobile. And mobile phones now are becoming a branch as we speak because we allocate now resources to mobile transactions and huge. Yeah. And like previously, we were really persuading these people to use the mobile platform. So we are really trying to enable them access the services without necessarily moving up and down and even saving on their time. Another issue is that we are really going on air advising our members in even vernacular. Yesterday, I was in CAS TV trying to tell the members on what to do. You know, the members are believing on us. So if they hear the CEO talking about the COVID and even advising them on seriousness on how to wash their hands and even observe this guide, I think they will hear fast because wataona ni real. Yeah.
That's the reason why we brought you here today, because part of
Yeah.
what we're doing as Baringo News is to sensitize our audience and
Oh,
to
yeah.
use this platform to make sure that the word is out there, because all of us have to survive this pandemic so that we can get back to our feet and continue with business. Now, we can dive into the questions from our viewers and maybe the comments that they do have. Uh, Start from the first commenters. I can see you, Willis. You're saying uko area kama bacteria. Willis, where are you watching us from? Tony, Dan, you're watching. You're saying good work, Skyline SACCO. Masharia, you're saying you're watching from Eldama Ravine. Looking for a question. Rose Lagat, hello, Allan. Happy to hear and to watch you from Eldama Ravine. Winnie Kimoy, she's saying, our own super CEO, God bless you, Allan, for the many lives you've transformed. Wow, good work, Allan. That is Vincent To, Ruto Stephen Karibu Sana. Looking for a question. Cheraisi Isaiah, you're saying the decision to purchase Ravine Motel wasn't in the best interest of the farmers. It isn't a priority, and this COVID-19, or rather this time of the pandemic, especially when you diverted members' dividends to non-core business. I think that's just a comment. If you feel you don't want to respond to that, you can always get back to that. Kajairo, you're saying this is a nice program, asante sana, and you're learning as well. Albert Kiprop, great discussion there. The pandemic has really messed up the economies across the world, and it will take us a long time to recover. Financial services sector has felt the hit in terms of reduced transactions, loan repayments, and fund mobilization is at its lowest. I think that is a comment and a prop to what you've been saying, Bwana Allan. That is Albert Koech Kiprop. Mkoa Junior, I believe you're watching us from Nairobi. That's the last time I checked you were there. Kindly ask the CEO in pecking order how the different groups of savers are ranked at the SACCO, most especially when it comes to dividends payouts. I save with 3 SACCOs, Skyline being one of them, and with the most of my savings. But it is surprising that Skyline is the lowest in dividends that I receive. I'm a milk farmer and I'm an ordinary saver. So maybe you can note that. That's a pertinent issue.
Yeah.
Elisha Kiplagat, what steps have Skyline SACCO done in making favorable terms in lending, recovery, and scheduling of loans? Elisha Kiplagat is the chairman for KNCCI, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce in Baringo. Okay, Tony, you're saying you're watching from Samburu, Marawi. Dennis Kemei, how is your average dividend payment for the last 3 years? I think that's a replica, or rather a repetition of this question that was asked by Amcor. Bishop Aengwo, Skyline, you're expanding territories and to occupy the land with great service delivery. This Bishop Aengwo is watching from, I don't know where he's watching from, and he's saying, I'm a partner to this vision. Andrew Komen, how much per 100 was last year's dividend? So I think the dividend issue is coming up quite commonly. Titus Letting is saying that the business members should be given a moratorium of about, or maybe up to 3 months, on their loan repayment. That's a suggestion. Maybe it's something you need to consider. Rono Evans is saying automated services are very low at your SACCO. I don't know, you'll also touch on that. You spoke about automation on the mobile banking and stuff like that. And Masharia is asking, is it possible to open an account with Skyline SACCO at the moment through the mobile phone? I think those could be the most pertinent questions that have come up. Yeah, so maybe you can take your time to respond to each one of them.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for our viewers and even comments you are giving. So encouraging, and that is why we are here today.
Yeah.
I think to me, as a leader, there is nothing casted on a stone. And if you don't accept corrections, I don't think you are going far. So, but I want to share with these guys, the viewers, on the comments they have given. Especially, I think the most important thing that has come out here clearly is the issue to do with dividends. Yeah, you know, comment when it comes to cash in, no one will want cash out again. Unataka tu ukae naye. So it is, I think to me, this issue to do with dividends is very important to discuss on. And I want to elaborate this way. To us, we have a prudential management of this institution. And when we talk of prudential management, it means you balance the interest of the institution and the interest of the members. And that is what we normally do without saying, I should do this so that I avoid maybe politics. Yeah, we are balancing the two. And this thing called dividend, the highest we have paid so far is last year, which we paid this year, and that is 15%. 15%. That is, I think, if we rate ourselves countrywide, we are among the top 10 SACCOs who are paying such a high rate. Over time, for a fact, we've been growing as a SACCO, and there is a growth stages that we underwent. To me, on average, the dividends that we have paid so far for the last 3 years, someone has mentioned, is on average 9%. So, and this is as per the prudential measure. You see, the circle like this, I've just said that we depend on mobilization. So if you pay much more than what you have gotten from the business, then it means in the long run, the business is going down. So that is what we have been observing prudential measures in terms of dividend percentage provisions. For the investments, we have done a lot of investment for our members. One, over time, we've requested our members to buy shares for buying or for building the head office and even a building for our consumption and even rentals. So, for this case, we have one building which we have worked on for so many years, since 1997 until the year 2017 when we actualized. So we have come up with a building in Ravine called Skyline building worth 108 million. And that is purely members' shares. That is the future investment that will last forever. This investment has got no credit. And we normally balance your contributions, the dividends that we are converting to shares or capitalizing, among others. So this investment, I think for years to come, it will yield a lot. Now, coming last year, before end of last year, we got a very good deal. And that is the proposal that we take Ravine Motel. That is a 4-story building which is attracting good income every month. So we went to the delegates because we use the delegate system. We called the delegates, that is last year, before this pandemic came. So that we gave out the proposal to the delegates and they gave us the dividend for 2019. So we capitalized the dividend for 2019 and we bought that building in cash, 50 million. And these 50 million are converted or were converted to be the shares for our members. So in fact, our members now are having have grown their shareholding in terms of investment. As we speak, if you want to survive in business, it is good you do what we call diversification. As much as you meet the threshold for regulation, because the regulator is saying the investment, that is land and building, should not exceed 5% of your total assets. For our case, we are meeting the threshold. Yes. So we are observing all the balances, checks and balances, to make the SACCO move and also the member to benefit. So going forward, I believe those are measures which we put in place so that going forward, we are going to be maintaining a steady return for our investors, that is our members. So nataka tu niwashukuru hao kwa kutupa hizo dividends because we have seen the investment, and for future we are going to have the best and steady dividend rate over time.
Very well. Any other question that you've not handled, you can take it up, then we'll continue.
The issue to do with lending and savings balancing. Yeah. Skyline SACCO are among the SACCOs in this country that have not gone for external borrowing to satisfy the demand for the members. So what we do, we work so much on mobilization and balance the same to meet the demand for the loans. And by so doing, the SACCO has really made tremendous growth. Yeah. Because from the year 2011, when we were licensed by SASRA, we have grown the SACCO 7 good times, yeah, in terms of asset base. So for now, we are talking of close to 2 billion asset base without any external injection. So, and it's all to do with mobilization and investing the same, and to make sure all our members, wherever they are able to access their funds, even if they need 1 million or 10 million, so long as they have in their accounts. There is no need, my friend, to tell us, we give you notice. Just come. Yeah, if you have the money, just come and just sit there. We'll give you a daily nation to read and give you the funds. So that is how we do, and I believe this is the SACCO to watch. And more so, we should be proud in Baringo County because we have our own, which is the best. We were even number 19 to be licensed in the country.
I see you have in-depth conversations that you'd want our viewers to really know about Skyline SACCO, and I think we can organize another day, and you can give us a fact check so that you can engage the viewers here.
Maybe there's one which I forgot.
Yeah, you can touch on that, then we continue. Yeah,
there's one about automation services.
Yeah,
I've told you guys we are growing, and within a short time, we are able now to have this mobile banking platform that is using USSD, star 879 hash. Then you access your real-time transactions. Then again, you can transfer the funds from your M-Pesa to the bank account in Skyline using the paybill 116,519, and they have been very reliable. The only thing that I must say we are working on it is the ATM cards. Yeah, for the ATM cards, we are now working on a cheaper card. Yeah, and we have partnered with InterSwitch, InterSwitch company, to provide our members with the cheaper card, and you can transact with so many ATM machines that is cutting across all the banks. So that is what we are working on, and I believe very soon, come next month or in the course of this month, we will have launched that product.
I think that was very necessary on the bit of mobile banking and also ATM, making payments using your ATM and even getting to access your money using the ATM. I'm talking of InterSwitch. I think it's a service that is available globally, right?
Yes, global.
So you would be enabling people, even when they travel, they can still access their money.
Wherever. So that is what we are working on currently.
Okay.
And yeah.
So on the same, the automation bit and encouraging your customers to use mobile banking, I think it is in order because at the moment, every person is discouraged from carrying cash or even transacting using cash, and making sure that your mobile banking platform is working well is something that is of key interest to every customer within your organization. Now, to the questions that I had set for you, the government is calling upon everyone to do what they can to help reduce this pandemic. And for you as an institution, I believe you have a CSR arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've seen technical colleges in Baringo, technical colleges and vocational institutions. They are producing masks, and there are even some private companies. I saw one in Eldama Ravine producing masks. Have you Are you planning to support such initiatives in any way, or
Yes,
have you done something already?
I get you so much. As I have said, we should work on assisting our members so that we will be on board after this pandemic. So
I see.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so we have worked on a number of logistics, and you see, there is also prudential measures. I had said. So we have to balance the inflows and out. Even if you have a vote, you have to balance the inflows and outflows. So that is not saying we are not supporting this cause. One, we have really worked on awareness, yeah, using SMSs, being on media. Even today, I was in Paraton Radio FM, just to socialize with our members and to give them awareness on this COVID-19 and how and what we are supposed to do. So we have invested so much in that, and we are continuing investing in that.
And we would also
Number
encourage
two,
you to continue doing that. Yeah.
yes. And then secondly, we are working with Baringo Mentorship Group, especially in this line of CSR. And we have arrangement. In fact, we are meeting with them on Monday, and to see how we can mobilize the resources together with what the people, the companies you are talking about, to support this. So we are on course. And this thing, my comment, it may not end tomorrow. It can take several months to go, because you are seeing now the numbers are growing for the infected people, yeah, instead of reducing. So it means we should project for the long run, not the short run. So we are really working on the policies and even ratifications from the board, so that we can make a sustainable vote for this pandemic. So that is my take on that. So we are working on, and very soon you will see.
Yeah, you've just mentioned the Baringo mentors, and I think we are aware of the initiative, and maybe even next week we'll be hosting them here as part of this sensitization campaign, because they're reaching out to the less fortunate families whom need help from us, who feel that we can spare an unga, mafuta or two, and give it to them at this difficult time. And even tomorrow we'll be hosting the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Mheshimiwa Chelugui. He'll be here also to tell us what the government is doing to cushion, or rather to ease the difficulty that the vulnerable are facing. So part of what you're doing, sensitization is very expensive, and good to know that Skyline SACCO has also undertaken some exercises to ensure that the people are aware of the pandemic, because we all need to survive this so that we can get back to business later in time. Now, Skyline SACCO has been here for about 30 years. I would be curious to know, how many branches do you have in Baringo? And maybe say how many counties are you present in? Because I think most people think that Skyline is just and within Baringo alone.
Oh yes, thank you so much. As you've said, Skyline SACCO is a veteran in this movement because 30 years, my friend, ni kama ulisaa mtoto na amekuwa mzee anataka kuoa. So that is where we are as Skyline. We are now ready to move on with the family. And we have had now enough muscle to fly and even to create more network apart from what we have. As we speak, we are having 12 branch network, and more so are in Baringo County. We have one that is in Baringo County. We are serving Cabernet. We have a branch in Cabernet, Marigat, Mogotio, a place called Emining, Sageri, Chorongo. Eldama Ravine is where we have the head office branch and even town branch. Then we have another one in Torongo and Mumberes. Those ones are in Baringo County. Then we have gone ahead to have one now introducing ourselves to Nakuru, that is in Kambiamoto, to serve Kabarak community and even Kambiamoto to Rongai. So that is introducing ourselves to Nakuru because the next branch will be Nakuru and even Nairobi if possible. We also have another branch in Flux to serve the people of Elgeyo Marakwet and Uasin Gishu up to Eldoret town. So, and then lastly, the other day, we came up with another branch in Kapsabet because we saw there is a gap there, especially the SACCOs that are dealing with farmers or specialized to farmers are not there. So we are positioning ourselves there, and the reception is good. And going forward, we are going to have more network if the muscle allows, because you have to have strategic decision, all the time. So if the financial muscle allows, then we will also look for the best area that we can easily recoup the investment for our members.
So talking about having 12 branches and spreading across 5 counties, what's your membership like? And there's a reason why I'm driving into that. There's a question that I'm about to ask regarding that.
Okay. In our membership, we are having farmers, and these farmers are around 50% of the total membership. So the rest of the 50% are employees to various companies or institutions. We also have civil servants that are channeling their pay through the SACCO. We have even pastors. We are giving them a product called Shepherd's Loans because tunataka pastor akikaa kwa podium kule mbele anasikia vizuri. So so even pastors are part of our members. Schools are also there. So the rest of the 50% are cutting across their communities. So that is how our membership are. And we are doing that purposely to do or to impress diversification.
Very well. And how are the numbers? Are you in the range of hundreds of thousands?
I'm not getting you.
The membership. How big are your numbers? Mko wangapi members kwa SACCO?
Yeah, you see, the fully paid with fully paid share capital is around 60,000. And the rest, to make it 80,000, have not completed the share capital to be paid. So, but then we are encouraging them and moving on.
Very well. So we can just say Skyline SACCO is reaching out to over 80,000 members. Now, within those 80,000 members, and I can see, I'd said before, you have a branch, you said you have about 12 branches, you're present in about five counties. How are these branches open at this time? Ama kuna zenye mmefunga?
Oh, yes. At this time, all the branches are up and running, as it were. The only thing that we did because of this curfew is adjusting the timings. Initially, we were opening at 8:30 our doors and closing at 5, but we adjusted to open at 9 and close at 3. I mean, so that those people who are traveling can travel wherever they are without being caught by the curfew. So, but all the branches are up and running, and you can visit any of our branches and you get the service as it has been. And we are only praying that members uses the mobile banking platform so that we avoid congestion.
So now to my question, you've elaborated your base, your customer base, and the number of branches and also the counties that you're present in. So with the 30 years of being in the business, and you've managed to sail through up to this point, how do you see Skyline SACCO in the next 1 year when COVID will have gone down?
1 year as we speak, putting the factors constant that we are going to remain, all of us, with the measures that we have put in place, we will be able to come back to our feet within 3 months. Within 3 months, because all the time we've been talking to our members, selling our products every now and then, giving them the information on where we are, what we are supposed to do. And surprisingly, even as we speak, there are some members who are even opening their accounts online because they're able to download the form from the website, fill that form, and again scan it back to us and requesting for specific services and starting even to transact through the mobile platform. So to me, it is just but the economical activities that they have been doing has been paused, because of this pandemic.
So you're confident that within 3 months we'll be back. So if
Yes.
Skyline will be back within 3 months, I think everybody will be back. Sorry to cut you short, but I can see our time is really moving, and I still have a number of things that we've not discussed. With the 30 years of experience, everybody would want to know. You said you've worked with the Skyline as your first employer, and you've risen in ranks to the level that you're in as a CEO at the moment. What lessons have you learned with this pandemic? Because it's a situation that nobody, even your founders, have experienced it. What lessons have you drawn as an individual and as the person in charge of Skyline SACCO?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. The lessons learned are a lot, but I will only mention about 3. One, business-wise, for those people who are having businesses and even potential businessmen and ladies, it is good we embrace what we call diversification. Because diversification, yes, you have to think of, the most successful business people are having at most, not at least, at most 3 businesses, which are different. So if we embrace on diversification, for sure, we are embracing stability and sustainability. That is 1. 2, as an institution or yourself as an individual, you have to have what we call caution vote. For our case, we should have vote head for any crisis. I don't know, in our cooperatives, we don't even think of it. When we are preparing budgets and so forth, we are not even thinking that a crisis may happen. So that is a lesson to learn. even an individual. Most of our communities, our people, they have nothing which they have saved for any crisis. So it is a lesson for all of us. Let's work on something that we should save for future or for any crisis. That is second. Thirdly, and this one I think looks abnormal, but it is normal. Embracing cleanliness. Yeah. Of late, I've not even had anyone coughing because of the use of masks, sanitizers, keeping social distances, no shaking hands anymore, among others. So cleaning is next to life, I believe so. Yeah. So in fact, I'm even setting a vote for this going forward. That is, in all our branches, we should embrace on washing hands. Yeah. Where possible, we keep social distances and even cleaning our tables with sanitizers, which we were not doing before.
That's very true. I
Yes.
think when you say cleanliness is next to godliness, and also
Yes.
if we can maintain this, we can remain a healthy society. I was reading a
Yeah.
statistic somewhere that the number of people going to hospitals or other health care facilities are very low, or rather, there's a serious drop, and
Yes.
I believe this could have been occasioned by maybe reduce the infections and such like, which can
Yes.
directly be related to cleanliness. Now, you have there was a case in Eldama Ravine the other day. There was a case of fire, and you barely the building was not able to be saved. And looking at where you people are stationed is entirely, or rather, your organization is headquartered in Eldama Ravine. You also have a branch in Eldama Ravine as well. What's your take on that situation, and what can you say about it?
I think those are provisions which should be provided by the county government. And to me, it's all to do with management of these resources. Because I understand there was a fire engine in Ravine, isn't it? And it was not working. Yeah, that is all to do with governance. And even our farms depends entirely on good governance. Yes. So to me, I am praising the county government. There are some things which, yes, we may think as the consumers or as the public that they are working, but the person who should know it's not working is not actually proactive to know that anything can happen. So that is all to do with governance. And I'm requesting the county government to really take those services very serious and to make sure they are working day and night.
You
Yeah.
know, I thought of asking that because I saw what Cheraisi Isaiah was talking about. The organization buying a building in Eldama Ravine being a bad idea. Then I thought, okay, so the members of Skyline SACCO have a building. Now, what about the incident that happened the other day? So I think, as you've said, it's all about proper management of resources and also good governance. So it's a challenge.
And maybe comment.
Yeah.
I'm also requesting the investors. When you have an investment like that, and even these two buildings for Skyline that we have invested on over, that is around 160 million. You should also think of transferring the risk to insurance companies because they are there to take care of that. So
Very
as
well.
much as we are relying on the county government or the government to protect us, let us also take charge ourselves to protect ourselves.
And speaking of you people taking charge, I saw a WhatsApp group, though it was formed for people to changa, or rather to raise money to help the government fix the the fire engine. Anyway, yeah, I have nothing to really ask about that, but I was just commenting on the bit of being proactive in what we are doing. Now, to finalize our conversation, do you have any assurance you'd want to give to your clients at the moment who are watching this show?
The thing I have mentioned a lot, or I've talked a lot, but the only thing I want to assure our viewers or our listeners and members of this group is that Skyline is a very strong financial institution as we speak. And what I've really impressed on is the best customer service. So in all our branches, wherever they are, expect the best out of the best. And if you are not satisfied, please, nakuomba, liaise with us so that we can rectify those areas and to make sure we give you the best. But move on, come to Skyline. We encourage you to join Skyline. Bring your investment, because this is where your investment is safe and we can have value. You can have value of your investment. So please, I'm encouraging our members from Baringo to support us. And for sure, I'm assuring them the best service and assuring them continuity of these institutions during my tenure. And I believe with the succession plan that we have put in place, even if we move out ourselves, the SACCO will run, because the policies that we have put in place are so many, and now they are on implementation. So kindly feel free to join Skyline, and if you want to reach us, kindly use our email for Skyline, info@skylinesacco.com, or if you want my email address, I can give you. It's Allan Mitei at skylinesacco.com. You can be free to share with me anything, and I will be able to assist you.
I saw a comment dropping a few seconds ago. It's asking, can someone open an account online? It looks like we've lost our guest tonight, Allan Mitei, who's the CEO for Skyline SACCO. And we were at the tail end of our conversation, and we could, if we don't manage to catch up with him, then we may need to just end it at that. The only thing that was remaining to ask him was maybe the final words to the viewers tonight. And one of the things that I've learned today is one of the ways, or rather, he has given 3 ways of surviving such situations. None of us has been in such a situation before, and by the fact that we were looking at the impact of COVID-19 on financial institutions, these are people who know the depth of our pockets. And clearly, from what Mitei has said, what people need to do moving forward so that we can survive such situations is, 1, diversification. And even with the organization that I work with at the moment, part of the lessons that we've gathered so far is having to diversify. Let's say you're in a business that is offering IT solutions for schools, or maybe supplying food stuff to learning institutions. What would be the situation right now? You would have closed down, and if you had employees, they may have lost their jobs without any negotiation. And even to you as a business owner, you may not have had any way out but to just close down or scale down as we wait for the schools to reopen. So one thing that we need to do is to diversify in what we're doing. And secondly, keeping the hygiene going, and also setting aside funds that are there to mitigate such crisis in every organization. And from us as Baringo News for tonight, the expert view, we thank you viewers for taking your time to watch and to also listen to the expert, people who have, Allan Mitei, who has been in the SACCO sector for quite some time, beginning with being a finance officer to the level he's in right now as the CEO for Skyline SACCO. So thank you, and every Wednesday at such a time, we always strive as Baringo News to bring an expert who will give an expert opinion or perspective on a given matter. I can see Allan is trying to be back, and yeah, I think he's here. Sorry, it's actually me who lost you. I was
Okay,
about to end the show.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So Allan, what are your final words to the people of Baringo who are watching?
Uh, my final word to Baringo viewers is that let's be proud of our own, and that is Skyline SACCO from Baringo County. That is number one. And the most important thing is to be united. You see, there is power in numbers. And if we join this institution using our resources, and even that is either resources, maybe even your ideas, not necessarily monetary. So bring our resources to such an institution, and I believe we will have made ends meet.
Okay, so thank you, viewers. We've lost Bana Allan again, and I don't think we'll still continue. We are 6 minutes past our time, and until next time, thank you. I'm your host, Komen SK.